Okay, give it off to Jonathan and Syver. Everybody give them a round of applause.
All right. I love the fact that Chris calls me Jonathan because my name is John, but it makes me, feel so much more sophisticated and classy. This is my son Syver.
Hi.
He's more the expert on Roblox. Who here knows anything about Roblox? Maybe a couple people. You've heard of it, maybe a little bit. I know Bobby knows. So basically, Roblox is a little different than a lot of other game platforms because, and this was a great segue from Charles, I think, that it is not only a physics engine and a development tool, like an authoring environment for games, but it also has all the back-end features that you might need, and I'm sure they're building out more and more, as you know, but it has a built-in leaderboard, a built-in multiplayer system. In fact, every game on Roblox is automatically multiplayer, and it's a server-side multiplayer, so you have to actually write the script, and I'll show you, we'll get into it a little bit. You have to write server-side script, and you have to write local scripts that's going to play on the clients. What's that? Okay, you go ahead and say that.
So what's another thing that's cool about it is that every game on Roblox is user created, which is pretty crazy because there are like millions of games and it's just full of them. So it isn't like, oh, there's only this game. If you don't like it, well, too bad. It's more like here are millions of games that you can choose from. Like there's probably at least one that everybody would like.
Some of those games, admittedly, are terrible.
Yes. Yes.
And some of those games are literally, when you sign up for your thing, they actually give you a game. It's called a place, and that you immediately have a place that you can go in and invite your friends to come in and play and that sort of stuff. But every single person has an avatar, so the first part of the experience might be developing your own avatar. As you can see here, they kind of look like Lego guys. I don't know why they didn't get sued, but as of yet, they did not get sued. But they are developing, they started with an R6, and now they have R16, right? So they have a lot more dynamics with it. They do not have a mesh deformer for your avatar. That's got to be in the making, coming up at some point. But but this is how they do it. And then all the different things that they're wearing, most of them are user-generated meshes that they've added on, and those products are either sold or given away for free by the users that created it. So right now, I don't even know if this number is correct, 55 million, but guess what? They just expanded, they're expanding into China, so you're gonna see that number fly up at some point. I don't know if there's gonna be restrictions on what games are available to people that are playing it in China because of the nature of their political system there, but...
no capitalist games.
Exactly. So in Roblox right now, and I'm just going to show you these things a little bit, and this is just information off the internet, obviously. So number one, top earning game will probably make about 10 million a year. This is a Roblox promoted thing, I suppose, but I don't know where they're coming up with the number. But some of the games like Jailbreak and Blacksburg are making a ton of money. And, they're usually made by 19-year-olds because this is a platform for kids. Like a lot of us, I have fun playing them, right? But the main market is like 5 to 9-year-olds. How many people in your class or 12-year-olds?
I actually don't know, but like...
Let's say if we listed 10 of your friends, how many of those play Roblox?
Maybe around like 2 or because
it's more than that. It's more than that. Every friend that comes over to our house plays Roblox with them. Okay, so I put you in a real statistical nightmare there, I think. Sorry about that. If your game is in the top 100 of the earners, you're probably making almost $500,000. Like that'd be a nice salary for me. Absolutely, 420,000. But of course, some of them aren't making a whole heck of a lot. They said in 2018 that they're doling out 70 million to their developers, which is a nice one. And then in 2019, they said it went up to 100 million. As Chris mentioned, I don't know if I have a slide for it. Yeah, they raised 150 million and have their sights set on China. I just want to get past a couple of this. We just want to point out some of our favorite games. We mentioned Jailbreak already. Jailbreak is, as you can see from the picture, basically you can either be a cop or a robber, and you start out in jail. And once you break out of jail, which is not actually that hard to break out of jail, because the fun of the game is once you're out of jail, you go rob banks and you go rob jewelry stores and what are some of the other ones? Gas stations.
Museum.
Donut shop.
Museum.
Right, museum. Cargo plane. So they keep adding the stuff in there. And the other way that they're making money in it is, number one, they'll sell these game passes. And a game pass, like I bought the SWAT team game pass, right? And it was probably like $3. It's 300 Robux. But we did the math and, I thought to myself, we play this game enough, I'm happy to send some money these guys' way because they're doing a great job. They also have, how many cars do they have in there? About 15, 20 different really good cars?
Yeah, a lot.
Name some of the cars that they got.
The Bugatti, the Porsche, the Lamborghini, the Roadster,
Right?
Tesla Model 3,
Right.
Tesla Model X.
Now, within the last year, one of the great things about Roblox is that they put out a version of their game and immediately they did another update every 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, something.
But they keep putting in the thing and adding new features all the time. So they're able to republish and add new stuff and new features to the game. So once they started making money with it, they had more opportunity to build better cars, faster cars, more responsive things. And you can obviously upgrade. Another thing that we bought was instant garage. So you don't have to drive your car to the garage to like paint it up and make it look cool and have the faster engine. You can just do that right from your GUI interface and that sort of stuff. So that's how they're making money. They're one of the top money makers on the thing. And really, primarily, probably the reason that they're making so much money is that it's an open map, open world, right? But in game design, we talk about mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics. It's got the aesthetics. Obviously, it does really well with making you feel like you're in this little town, albeit it's this weird cartoon version of a town, and that the mechanics are designed so that it tells the story. So the dynamics comes from the stories that you play with your friends. So one of the things we hadn't touched on, and this is the probably coolest element of Roblox, is that it is almost like a social media platform for kids because you make friends with your friends, right? Too much harm. As soon as you come to the page, you can see, so obviously this person is playing Welcome to Blacksburg, it looks like. Let's say this was one of our good friends. We go down there and just immediately join that server with them. Like I said, every game is multiplayer, so every game you're going to be able to join your friend's game wherever they are. So it launches a helper application. The helper application obviously is the client player for the thing. Welcome to Blacksburg is actually the next thing I was going to talk about. It's kind of a building game and right?
It's like kind of like a life roleplay-ish too.
Maybe a
You
simulation.
build a house. You have food. You have to have like food, shower.
Oh yes, you get really smelling. If you don't take a shower, you get flies start flying around you and that sort of stuff.
And I think the most annoying part about this game is that you have to pay bills.
Oh yeah, you actually have to pay bills. So
like electric bills.
you have to go to a job. What are some of the jobs that you have to do?
Like maybe a cashier or a pizza delivery guy, or a pizza maker or a mechanic.
What about a graffiti cleanup guy who cleans up graffiti? And you can make the money, and then with that money, you buy other stuff like building supplies for your house. So the idea is that some of these kids are making these amazing houses. They have a whole building component to this game. But the idea is that some of these kids have built mansions, and they add on all sorts of stuff, and they have all kinds of building tools. This particular company has built in a lot of features into their building component. So how they make money is it's 25 cents or 25 Robux to ever play this game. So they automatically know they're getting a quarter from every single person that wants to ever play this game. And then once you're in there, you can buy more of their, what's their money called in this?
So here are the blocks books, the purple currency right here. And I just call these like blocks bills or blocks dollars or something.
It's their own currency for this particular game. That's not bad, right?
And I built him this house. And here's like mood. Like,
So here's your vital signs. You got to have fun, right? And you got to have energy, and you got to eat something, and you got to have hygiene. The reason I wanted to tell you about this is because the discoverability of your game in this platform is fantastic, because if one kid is playing it, every one of their friends can see that they're playing it. And, you know, friends like to hang out, right? And what's the number one marketing tool in the world? The best marketing tool is word of mouth, right? My buddy loves it. I'm going to check it out, right? Right? So that's the idea of this for discoverability. As you can see right here, these are some of the games that we've been...
Well, we don't play like this shows what we have been playing. These are our favorites. And then if you keep scrolling down, it'll show what your friends are playing. And then at the bottom, it has recommended.
And we can also go here. And like we said, there's
Millions.
like millions of games in here. And the ones you want to peruse are really the ones that are popular, top rated, or featured. And that's sort of...
Jailbreak's right there, and so is Blacksburg.
Yeah. So some of
Is
these
that
games...
the number of people playing that game?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So
There's currently 27,000 people playing Blacksburg and
Yeah.
20,000 people playing Jailbreak right now.
yeah, this time of night. You know, mostly nobody's playing before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they get out of school, and then suddenly the numbers just start popping up. And obviously over the weekend, the kids get in there. There's all sorts of types of games, but what I wanted to say about the dynamics of it is that we end up telling our own stories. When we talk about, when we play the game, we're like, remember that time when we like jumped onto the train and that cop was inside the train when we were trying to rob it and blah, blah, blah. And it's the dynamics of that is my favorite part of the game, because we're telling our own stories, right? We're not going down some sort of rigid storyline that, you know, one of these, not Cloak and Dagger, but you know, you know, we're not going down a, you know, it's not like a decide your own ending novel. You know, we're actually going and writing our own stories, and we're in there with our friends, and we're working as a team, or you know,
Or
maybe,
working solo.
yeah, or sometimes you get double crossed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Jailbreak. Work at a pizza parlor. You can kind of figure out what that is, but they've built a lot of stuff into that. That's a
Literally
popular
the name
one.
of the game is Work at a Pizza Place.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's why we named our game Bomb the Castle. That's why we're like, hey, this is exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna bomb the castle. You know, this one, it's obviously a artist's rendition of a shark attacking a boat, but this is a fantastic game. It's called Shark Bite, and it's basically Jaws. And everyone jumps into the server, and one person gets selected to be the shark, and everybody else is on boats. And they have a variety of different boats, and obviously you can spend money to buy a really cool boat, or you can earn their currency. In this game, it's teeth, shark's teeth, right? So the number of teeth number of sharks that you beat or survive.
Well, you get 20 if you survive or beat it, and then every time you actually hit the shark, you get 1.
That's right. Yeah, every time you hit them with your gun or whatever, right? And then you can have better guns and different, you know, there's all sorts of different...
Shark customizations.
Yeah, and
You could be a megalodon.
most of the games that are doing really good are not hard sells. Most of them are like, you know, you can play and have fun for free, and you can earn your way into being able to buy more features. But then there's a lot of kids who will just do the shortcut, you know, or maybe you eventually start valuing the game like we did with Jailbreak, and we said, you know what, I gotta have, like, what did you gotta have in Jailbreak? Jailbreak.
So I got this cool game pass that makes it so like you get alerted when robberies, like when you can do the robberies.
Yeah, he got the mob boss game pass, you know, so he could get, he knew what was going on around town, you know, organized crime wise. Whatever floats your boat is a really fun one. It's kind of an unusual game, and it seems like they could work and tweak it out a little bit better, but you you build a boat out of boxes, crates, you know, dressers,
Yeah, I
and
don't know why dressers.
all sorts of random stuff, and then you battle. And basically, it's a cycle that a flood happens every night almost, right? So you live in the desert, and then a flood's coming, so you got to build your boat real quick, and you get on the boat, and then it's like, you know, Waterworld or whatever. And then this is a classic one of these games. This one is one that somebody created different meshes. This isn't a mesh deformer, and it looks a little bit silly and that sort of thing, but it's a classic. You know, it was Agatha Christie did all the old like British werewolf, you know, the genre of stuff, and you go in there and one person's, you know, it's in a big mansion. They only have the one mansion, but
and also a church outside.
And there's a church outside you could go hide in, but one person is the wolf, and then one person is the assassin. They get a crossbow, and then everyone else is soon to be victims, right? It's actually a real fun game and pretty compelling musically and that sort of stuff. They did a really good job on that. And this is probably one of their most popular games, and it's called Natural Disasters. And it's just a lot of these games are round-based games because it's multiplayer, you know, and everybody joins into a lobby, and then the game is going to start in about 20 seconds or whatever. And you know, what are some of the disasters that are in this?
So here's a meteor shower. There's also the tornado. My favorite, the tsunami, the flash flood, the lightning storm, the fire.
Dust storm.
Yes, sandstorm.
Sandstorm.
Blizzard.
Blizzard.
And
Tsunami.
Volcano.
Volcano.
Tsunami already.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are gone.
Now our game is Bomb the Castle. We've been working on it for a little while. It's still in the testing phase, and we're selling ammunition or different weapons. When you run through some of the weapons you can buy in our game.
You can get the Master Sword, a club. So there's sticky bombs where you can throw it at something and then it just
Sticks to their back and then blows up.
And then there is it's called a Ring of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
It
Just in all directions, right?
And then there's a potion of harming and a potion of levitation.
Mm-hmm.
In levitation, I mean in a bad way. Like, it makes your enemies like just fly up.
They fly up about 500 feet and they come smashing back down on the ground.
And then also the invisible landmine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or if
Yeah.
they like walk over somewhere,
Right, you can plant a landmine. It's invisible,
they
then
can't see it, and then
right.
it goes.
And it only hurts the other team members. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so basically, we're excited to see if we can make any money and kind of prove our little test theory on this.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jon and Syver. Everybody give them a round of applause.